Hello there. God bless you. My name is Jeanette Maldonado, and you have arrived at our Her Time for Talk YouTube channel. Thank you. Welcome. Hey, everybody. We have a really interesting, cool topic today. But before we get there, I would love to introduce these beautiful ladies, my friends for over 23, 4, 5 years. I don't know. I've lost count. Um, but here are my friends. We'll start with
Daisy. Hi, welcome.
Hello, I'm Regina.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rosie.
Hi there. You all look lovely today. We are going to talk about a topic that I find super interesting and very important to me, and that is the topic of creativity, being creative. So before I even get to any of the questions, I have a question that you don't necessarily have to answer, but just something for us to think about. Does everyone have creativity? And is everyone creative? So some people believe that either you have it or you don't. And I think that um, what happens is that some people look at creativity as just our art or music or theater or baking even, but being creative can be so many different things. It could be really good at organizing, which I am not, um, or finding alternate solutions for things at work or fixing something, things like that. So anyway, one thing that I will do at the end, I wasn't going to do it now, but actually, let me do it now. Sorry, let me do it now. If you have any questions, we would love for you to comment below, or you can send us an email at hertime4talk@gmail.com. And you can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook. On Facebook, we are Her Time for Talk, Tiempo de Ella, or on Instagram, Her Time for Talk. So either way, any way you slice it, you can find us, Her Time for Talk. So back to the question. Or actually the first question, what are some ways that you express your creativity? And I'm just going to let whoever wants to go first. I won't call on anyone, but be creative in how you answer. No, just kidding.
Well, you asked if everyone has creativity. I think that everyone has creativity. Yeah, everybody does. I think if you're a mom, you have to have creativity. I mean, just raising children, you have to figure out how to, or a dad, you have to figure out how to keep them entertained, and you have to be creative on what to feed them, and be creative on, all kinds of things, like and accept their creativity too when they come out with outfits that you just would not imagine. Okay. But I think that creativity God is one of those innate God-given things, whether, like you were saying, how it shows. I'm not the type of person that displays my creativity and like has, big portraits or paintings or music or whatever. But I think that one of the ways that I am creative is I can, figure out how the best way to get things done, figure out the best way to get somewhere. I, I don't think it's, necessarily anything that somebody would realize, but I've learned how to be really creative with my driving so that I can get out of traffic and get home as soon as possible. And so I will be like, okay, if I take this street, I'll miss this traffic and then I'll have to go this way and whatever. But it just makes me feel satisfied. I get home in like 15 to 20 minutes rather than 40 minutes. So that's one of the ways. I mean, I know that I have other little ways, maybe baking or, taking care of my kids, but yeah.
Also, I was thinking about how you help plan party
Event planning.
events and wedding planning and things like that. That is a to me, that's an art.
Mhm.
You know?
Well, it's not so much that I'm creating the wedding. I'm figuring out the best way to get it done without a
Yeah.
hitch.
Mhm.
Like I'm
Yeah.
making sure that however it's going to work out, I want it to work out the way the bride wants it to look. So yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Hmm. I like what you said, Regina, when it comes to trying to find an alternate route to get home, because that's me. My mind, when I'm on my way, which route am I taking? I already have several, but which one is going to get me there the fastest? That's good. I didn't think of that being creative, but anyway, I think one of the ways that I express my creativity, um, especially working with children, just finding ways on how to help students learn a
Mm,
skill, like having, those visuals and having those things that are tangible that they can use, writing things, just it's trying to be versatile, right? And be creative. And I'm constantly asking the Lord to give me creativity when I'm teaching something to the
mhm,
kids, because I want them to be able to not only learn it but understand it and retain it, right?
mhm,
So that's important for me. And I think another way is through my coffee, my blending with coffee. Selah brought this up. She goes, Mom, but you're creative with your coffee. And it's true, because I'm always trying different blends. Does this work? Does this, this doesn't work. So those are just some ways that I feel like I'm creative. And writing, I journal a lot, and I feel like that's a way for me to just express, my thoughts, my feelings, and
mhm,
just take it from there, my ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, I have very predictable creative stuff. I'm a creative. I have a creative mind and I think creatively. So I express that, in obvious ways like writing. I express that in baking. I'm a cake baker, but also a cookie baker. A couple of years ago, I took up ice cookies, which is another creative expression
mhm,
as well. In my last year or so, I've become a really good cook. Um,
mm,
and I've gotten really creative, for health reasons. That
Mm-hmm.
was the first trigger, but I mix my own spices and no salt type of thing. And my husband has never been so complimentary about my cooking than
mhm,
he has in the last year. So I've really become a good cook. But the other thing for me is, Rosie, you're a teacher. When I'm teaching the word of God, I'm always trying to figure out, there are parts of the Bible, many of us would agree, are not easily
Mm,
mhm,
understood or palatable.
mhm,
And I'm always trying to figure out ways of making it make sense and be
mm,
practical to our daily living. So I love that. I love the creative process when it comes to bringing the word of God to my context as well. So yeah,
mhm,
I see creativity everywhere. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. By the way, Rosie, I don't know if
yes.
I've ever told you this, but teachers are my heroes.
Aw.
Seriously, I
No.
mean, I mean, good Lord, they deserve every raise there is.
Thank
Um,
you.
so Daisy was just talking about like in teaching the Bible, and my next question was, can creativity be used in ministry? I didn't say what are some ways that I express creativity. I think a lot, anybody who's watched maybe 3 episodes of Her Time probably knows that I talk a lot about theater.
Mm,
So that is definitely one way. I love to theater direct. I love art, painting, designing sets, things like that. And so that's a way that those are ways that I express creativity. But my question is, can creativity be used in ministry? For me, I look at theater as a ministry. I
mhm,
use it as a ministry because even if I'm not necessarily directing a Christian play, just the way that I interact with my actors, the love that I pour into them, the encouragement that I pour into them, the the community that we build,
Mhm.
all those things are ways that I consider theater ministry. And I could do 10 whole episodes on how the Lord has used theater to reach people. And I have like literally, I'd love to write a book one day about like testimonies that have come out of experiences that I've had in theater.
Mhm.
But ladies, is there a way that you have used your creativity in ministry?
I have you know, the cooking and the baking, hospitality is a spiritual gift. And I use that when people are grieving. I will bake for them and I will share that with them. So I want them to know the time
Mhm,
and the thought that goes
mhm,
into it. As I'm baking, I pray for whatever the product is.
yes.
And then I put a card on it, you know, so yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah.
I do have to agree that you know, our creativity can be used in ministry, right? Absolutely, it's an outlet. It's an outlet to connect and express, you know, the gift that God has given you as an individual. And so, have I used my creativity? Absolutely, with the worship and in music. And it's just a way for me to give back what God has given to me and
Mhm,
use that creativity to like just bless others.
mhm.
Mhm.
Regina, you have a
Um, I think that everything you do in ministry is creative. Everything
mhm,
that
Mm,
you're given should be, you know, creative, and you should ask the Lord to give you that creativity in whatever you're doing. I'm the coffee shop manager right now at our church, and even the cute little signs that we put out, I I
mhm,
just want to be
Mhm.
creative and inviting, and bring people in and try and find ways for these for people to come and feel the love of the Lord in a coffee shop. Same thing with Rosie worship, same thing with Daisy counseling, like theater, whatever it is. I feel like the Lord, if you're in that place, if you're in that position, if you're in church, God has already given that to you.
mhm.
So whatever you're doing.
So creativity is a form of worship,
Mhm.
'cause, and I was thinking of a quote that I read that says, "As God's work of art, each of us is unique and created for a purpose." And I believe that our purpose is to use whatever the Lord gives us, whether it be organizing, whatever it may be, as a form of worship unto Him. So, really quick, on to the next question. Is taking time to be creative important to you? Like spending time just doing something for me, man, if I feel like if I'm not involved in something creative, sometimes I feel like, ugh, I feel like, what's my purpose? What am I doing? Come on, move,
mm.
do something, create something, paint, draw, whatever, do a stick figure, whatever. Just some kind of creative outlet. Or do any of you like actually take time to sit and this is my creative time. This is my time to do that. Yeah.
I want to share a quick story because I thought of this earlier, and that is a few years ago, our office manager, when I was working at the university, our office manager, who was an artist, a professional artist, I remember going through a season where I just was frustrated and short tempered, not, I didn't pick on people or anything, but she would notice that I was just very quiet. And she asked me one day, she said, "Daisy, when was the last time you created?"
Mm,
And I what?
I like that.
Nobody had ever asked me that. So anyway, coming from an artist, right, a painter, she said, I find that sometimes when I just get really stressed out, or I'm just not in the mood for people, whatever my mood is, she says, sometimes I just sit down and I create.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh my gosh, I'd never thought of that. So I got into a project. I felt so much better. So anyway, past that, because that was years ago, every time I get into a mood, it's the first thing I ask myself, what creative outlet are you practicing?
Mm.
And lately it's been cooking, and it's been the baking, more of it, because I'm semi-retired. I can do that. So I'm not short-tempered, and I'm not, I get stressed, but I bake a batch of cookies when I get. So anyway,
I
so yeah.
I don't believe you that they're that good. I need to taste them to let you know for sure.
You need to come over so you can have some. Yes.
Ladies,
I
anyone
love
else?
that. I love that story, Daisy,
The
with
question. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
her question, you know. I think definitely taking time to be creative is important. It's an
Mhm.
outlet for me. It's a way for me to express, my ideas, and just taking that time to do it is vital.
Mhm.
Um, whether it's writing in my journal, and I'm not a writer in terms of like I write books. I just write my thoughts. Anything that comes to my mind, I write it down. For the most part, I try to. So that's an outlet for me. That's, if I have something on my mind, I don't know how to get it out, I'm writing it down. If there's something I'm struggling, or something that I feel stressed about, then I'm writing it out. Why? Because it's my outlet. It's my
Mhm.
way to express myself and my ideas. So taking that time is super important for sure.
Yeah. Regina, any thoughts?
I don't know if I need to be creative. Like I don't know if I need to find something to do. I do know that every once in a while and I'll look around either in my living room or my bedroom or kitchen or whatever and be like, this isn't working. We need to
Mm.
redo this. I need to reorganize this because it's
That's
driving me
that.
mad. And
That's
so,
an out.
I
Hmm.
take everything, and this is how I do it. And it's usually a 2 or 3 day process, but I will take everything out and rearrange the furniture and then bring things in that I really need. And I
Yeah.
don't think that's creative, but I feel like it
Yeah.
makes me
Yeah.
much better
Yeah.
because I just feel better in my space and I feel better.
Mhm.
The things are being utilized in my rooms or in my office or whatever it is. Because, sometimes you just keep getting stuff, all these Amazon boxes and all of these things that you're like, ah. And so then you just have to take everything out and say, okay, what do I really need? And bring it back in. So maybe that's something a little bit creative. I don't know. But I don't know if I feel like I have that need. But now that Daisy said that, maybe I do need to really think
Mhm.
about
Yeah.
is it
It's like the body, when the body is lacking in a certain mineral or vitamin, it starts to speak. So for you, it's that your creativity is speaking to you when you're looking at a room and you just start organizing. It's not necessarily a formal, process, but it just happens naturally. So your body is saying, your mind is saying, you need to create right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's very creative. My mom is like that. My mom, she doesn't like something, she changes rooms around all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's creative because you're trying to figure out what's the best way to fix this room or organize this room, right? So yeah, and make it feel
Meanwhile,
better for you.
I
Jeanette.
don't meanwhile, I've had this painting on my wall the last 19 years.
Yeah,
But
but you're creating theater plays and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
so ladies, in conclusion, creativity, creativity is God's. It's from God and it's for God. And I just wanted to quickly say one Bible verse that I believe is just perfect for us right now. And it is, for we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So whether it's rearranging furniture, whether it's baking, whatever we do, as long as we do it as unto the Lord and we give it to God, whatever we have in our hands, we give it to God. Creativity is a form of worship. And so, ladies that are watching, anyone who is watching, I encourage you to take some time to create whatever that may be and just give it to the Lord. And let's see what the Lord does with that, right? So, ladies, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you again. If you'd like to reach out to us, our email address is hertimefortalk@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and we hope that you will like and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.